everyone, we are back with an updated video on the Boldhue system. I have been playing with it for a few more weeks and I have been trying it on a few different people to kind of see like what this machine is capable of. I don't have like the most diverse group of people to try this out on, but I do have a few people that were so kind enough to be models for me for this. So I have tested this machine on my mom as well as my boyfriend, so we'll get to see just a little bit more of how this machine scans their skin and the colors it comes up with for them. So for today I am going to be trying this machine again, and I thought I wanted to do something just a little bit different just to kind of like test like my skills versus the machine, because I do feel like this gives a pretty good color match all the times I have tried it on myself, but I'm definitely interested to see if I can get maybe even a better color match to my skin than the machine. So one thing I did want to mention, I did end up buying more of the jars from the Boldhue website because you only have 2 that come with the machine. So I definitely wanted to have a couple more jars to play around with so I could kind of do these like little experimental things more often. So I did get 2 sets of them, and each set has 2 jars in them. The price for the jars themselves for the 2 is $12 each, so that makes about $6 per jar. So now I've got a few more to play with to do my little experiments with. So what I was going to do today to test my mixing skills to the machine, now I guess it's not going to be a 100% truly like fair test, because the way I'm planning on doing this is to have the machine scan my skin, and I'm gonna mix up 2 batches of the exact same formulation, and we're gonna apply one to my skin, and I'm gonna actually color adjust one on my own with some color mixing drops to see can I get a better color match. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start a new scan from scratch. So I'm gonna take the little wand here. I'm gonna wait for the light to come on. Okay, and now we're gonna do forehead. We're gonna do chin. I'm gonna try to avoid my acne. And we're gonna do neck. Okay, so it made all the scans. I'm gonna put that back into the cradle, and we're gonna mix up our custom foundation. Now the last time, I feel like for me, I feel like the colors looked a little yellow as I was applying them, like swatching them on the face. However, I do feel like when everything was said and done and like it was blended out, I felt like it was still a good color match, but it did initially look a little yellow on my skin as I was applying it. Okay, so here is the color that it is going to make for me. So I'm gonna hit make my foundation. I'm gonna put one of my brand new jars into the machine. We're gonna make the foundation, so that's gonna take just a few minute or so. So how are you guys doing? While it's making the foundation, I will say that I did have fun trying this out on my mom and my boyfriend. He was so kind and gracious to let me try this product on him. First and foremost, he does not wear makeup, but he was a very good sport about it, and he was very kind to let me test it on him as a model. And I have to say, I was actually pretty impressed with the results on the color I mixed with him, but I will definitely include that later on in the video. Okay, so the first foundation right here, I'm gonna leave that one be. Okay, and I'm gonna save this shade so that I can make another one exactly like it. So I'm going to make a copy of the one that I just made. So I'm gonna set that aside. So that is the one I just made. We're gonna do make your match, and I'm gonna put the second jar into the machine, and we're gonna let that one make the foundation. So I'm gonna give that one a minute to mix up the 2. This will also be fun to kind of see like how accurate is the machine at mixing the same color twice back to back. So that will be another thing we will test before I start kind of making adjustments to mine. And while that one is mixing, I'm gonna go ahead and start mixing the first foundation here. I'm gonna try to mix this as thoroughly as I can. Uh-oh, we got an error on this one. Okay, what did it say? It says paused match. We paused your match due to the errors below. Follow these steps to continue. Remove your jar from Boldhue and keep the pigment inside. We'll need it later to complete your match. So it looks like the white cartridge is what needs to be fixed. So let me take that out. It says fix white cartridge. So I'm gonna try to pop the back off of this thing real quick and see if I can get the white cartridge to fix. I don't know what it wants me to do. I'm gonna try shaking it because that's what had me do last time. All right, and I'm gonna try to see if that fixes it. So that is the second time I've had to fix a cartridge on this machine, but I have used it 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, maybe like 5 times now, and out of the 5 times I've had to fix it twice. It's kind of strange because it said that the white cartridge was messed up, but there's a lot of white in here, so whatever, we're gonna do what it says. Now it wants me to reinsert the jar. I'm gonna close the drawer and I'm gonna click finish, but there was a lot of white in there already, so I hate when there's kind of like these errors in between because I don't know, like, is that gonna mess up the consistency of the color that we get? So I'm just gonna have to see. Definitely looks like it added more white in there. I don't know if you can tell, but it definitely looks like there's more white on this side than there was there. So once again, I'm gonna go ahead and just mix this up. Are these colors the same back to back? Okay, so I've got my 2 colors mixed. I'm gonna look at them side by side now. I do wanna wipe off my little spatula. Now I don't wanna mix these up, pun intended, so I'm gonna keep them separate. So we have number 1 and number 2. Honestly, looking at these, they look really, really similar. I mean, if they were microscopically off, I probably wouldn't be able to tell. So as far as consistency goes, I guess for this test, I would say it definitely did make the same foundation pretty similar. So now for a quick test, I'll do a swipe of each of them on my cheek so we can see side by side how similar they look. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in. Right, once again, here's an up close of the 2 foundations. This is number 1, this is number 2. They're looking pretty similar. Once again, however, I feel like they do look kind of yellow. So let me just do number 1 first right here. I'm just gonna take a little bit on my finger. Actually, no, I'll use the little spatula, it'll be a little easier. So I'm gonna pick up about that much. We're gonna put that one, we're gonna put it lower here. You just kind of do that, try to get it evenly swiped. So that is number 1. Gonna wipe off my little spatula here so it's completely clean. And then number 2 is this one right here. Once again, I'm gonna pick up some of that. I'm gonna swipe it right here. Try to get that evenly swatched on my face. I think that's probably as even as I can get. All right, so here are the 2 colors, number 1, number 2. Honestly, they're looking really, really similar on my face. I don't know how it's coming across on camera, but in person, it's looking pretty similar. Yeah, I mean, those are looking pretty similar to me in person. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep 1 original color over here, and I'm not gonna do anything to it. Let me wipe this off for now, just so it doesn't dry like that, and we'll come back to it. And then for this one, I'm actually gonna tweak it just a little bit with my own products to adjust the color slightly, and then we'll do a side-by-side comparison. Now, in all fairness of science, should I be using the exact same colors that are in the machine? Yes, I should. However, I don't wanna like take those out and mess them up. So what I have here is I have my LA Girl Pro Color Foundation Mixing pigment in the color blue. I have the clean color pigment mixer in white, and I have a liquid blush that I can use if I need to add any more like red to it. So these are what I'm going to be using to adjust my foundation. So is this perfectly like scientifically sound? No, but honestly guys, we're not getting that crazy with it. So what I want to do is, for me, I kind of want to do a little bit of blue in here. So I'm gonna do just like a tiny little squirt. Get this to drip in here. I might have to use my little spatula so I don't want to get any of the product on there. Okay, for science, I'm using this much blue, and I'm gonna start by just mixing that in. I can't really like hold this and mix, so I'm sorry guys, just give me a second. I will try to adjust as I go. I definitely don't think that was enough blue for my liking, so let me see if I can do a little bit more. This is how much more blue I'm adding. Okay, now I do think I want to add a little bit of red as well, so I'm gonna actually shake this one up really, really well. This one's actually more of like a liquidy, kind of like serum blush, so I don't know exactly how much I'm gonna add of this one. Just gonna do like a drop or 2 at a time. So I'm gonna do, okay, 1 drop. I think I want to do 1 more drop in there. So let's do, that one's kind of a bubble. Let me shake it. There we go. Okay. Okay, that definitely made it a little bit more on the pinky tone rather than that yellow. Okay, we're gonna do our first little comparison, and I'm gonna see if I can adjust it a little bit more. So first things first, this is gonna be the color I mixed. I'm going to just kind of wipe a little bit of that right here. Okay, then I want to completely wipe off my little spatula. Okay, and then over here, this was the original untouched color that was mixed by the machine. Kind of spread that one out. Okay, so I can see a minor difference. This one is definitely just a little bit less yellowy and a little bit more pinky in my opinion, but I think we can get even closer. So let's wipe this one off and let's go back to the drawing board. I still think I need more blue. I'm gonna add more blue. Now technically, the products that I'm adding to my mixture are going to potentially change the way the product performs. So I'm not really trying to base this on like, you know, the performance of it. I'm really just trying to strictly look at the color result. All right, so side by side, I don't know of how you'll be able to see like how much of a color difference there is. So here's the one that I adjusted. Here's the one straight from the machine. I'm trying to get like that glare to not be obvious. I don't know if this is obvious on camera or not. To me, this one is slightly cooler. This one's still more yellow. This one has a little bit more of like a peachier kind of undertone to it rather than the goldeny yellow here. I definitely think that this honestly is a little bit closer to my skin tone. Now I do want to give this another test. Let's kind of do one little swipe here. I think that's closer. I think that's definitely closer. Trying to like wipe as much of this back into the jar as I can because I don't like wasting all the product onto the tissue here, but we will do what we can do. Okay, and then this was the original out of the box, or out of the machine, I guess. Okay, here's two colors. There is my mixture. There is the machine mixture. Looking at these two colors, I definitely think mine is closer to my skin tone than the out of the machine one, but I want to do a full side-by-side comparison as well. So for the final time, I'm going to completely wipe that off. I'll do the machine side here and I will do my custom mixture here. Now, of course, like I said, with me adding the products that I did, is it potentially going to change how the foundation, like texture-wise or coverage-wise, looks on my skin? Potentially. But honestly, I can't control every single independent factor, so we're just gonna have to give a little bit of grace on the variables here, but just give me a little bit of a break. So I'm gonna go ahead and start blending my custom color in. I'm gonna try to just keep it on this side. I do want to add a little bit more of this one to my cheek area. Okay, so here is the side with my adjusted mixture applied. I mean, overall, I think it looks pretty good. What do we think? This is my bare skin side. This is the side that I adjusted. And now I'm going to apply the straight from the machine color on this side. Now I do want to use the same brush, but I do want to try to get as much of this foundation off here as possible. Like I said, you guys, I know that like all these variables are not perfectly controlled, but I'm doing my very, very best. Okay, I think that's as clean as I can get this brush for the moment. All right, my spatula is completely clean and we are gonna start adding this color to this side. Like I said, I mean, I still think that this straight from the machine is still a really good color match as far as like when it's actually blended out and seeing like the whole picture of my makeup. Does it look like an appropriate color for my skin? I definitely think it does. However, while I'm applying it, I just do think it looks a little bit more yellow on my face when I am first applying it. Keep it as even as I can. I'm gonna add just a little bit more this to my cheek area like I did on the other side. All right, and then this is the side with the straight from the machine applied foundation color, not adjusted at all. So what do we think? So machine side, my adjusted side. I mean, overall, when I'm looking at this, if I hadn't have known that one was slightly different from the other, would I think anything of it? Not really. No, not really. Let me do one more kind of zoom out so you can kind of see a little bit more of my body and the overall look. All right, so once again, here is the full picture, machine side, the adjusted side. See a little bit more of my body, the overall look. Here's the machine side, the adjusted side. What do you guys think? Do they look noticeably different at all? Can you tell a difference? Can you not tell a difference? What side do you think looks better? Do you think that this one looks better? Do you think this one looks better? I think that either way, especially having like all my makeup on and everything and completed, I really don't think it's that big of a difference. But you guys, we are not done yet because I did have one more idea I wanted to kind of test this machine with and see if I can kind of hack the machine in a way. I want to see what it's capable of, where its limitations are, what we can do with this, what we can't do with this. So I had an idea. Since the foundation machine has all of the shades in the machine, in theory, it should be able to mix any color. So I had an idea and I was thinking, can I make a non-foundation color shade? And what can we do with that? So this may not work. I have not tested this yet. You are gonna be trying it out with me for the first time together. So we're gonna see what can we do, and I want to see if I can trick the machine. Now my idea is I want to see, can I create a blush color, like a liquid blush type of thing with this machine? Let's see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start a new scan. Okay, and we're gonna do start a new scan. Ooh, this is interesting, you guys. Okay, this was something I really wanted to know. Let me take a screenshot of this. So my machine says your cartridges are almost empty. I will put this on screen so you guys can see this as well. So it says it looks like you're running low. I'm at 90% on red, 85% on yellow, 95% on blue, 60% on white, 95% on black, and I'm at 40% on base. Now, I have told you guys, I have used this machine about 5 times prior to this video, plus the 2 that I have done this time, which makes 7 uses so far. And I have found that with the single mixture of how long that lasts me, I would say it lasts me about maybe like 3 to possibly 4 days worth of foundation if I'm putting on a little bit more foundation. Now, if I'm doing like super light coverage, just a little bit here or there, I think I could definitely make one mixture last me about maybe like 5 to 6 days. But as far as how I like to wear my makeup, usually I would say one mixture lasts me about 3 to 4 days, we'll say. And to see that I am already the lowest on the base product does make the most sense because that is the single color that is going to be in every single mixture. And of course, with white being the next lowest also makes sense with me being white as paper. So I definitely think I'm gonna have to stock up on some more of the base and the white cartridge because those definitely are the ones that I am going to be consuming the most quickly. I do like that it has an indicator on here to let you know where you're at, so that way you have an idea of like when you're starting to run low, be like, oh, I need to place an order. They also do have a shop now button that I presume will just take you right there and you can make your order, but I'm going to do that later. So that was just an interesting tidbit. Now we're gonna go back into my experiment because I am really curious to see how it's gonna handle this. So what I'm going to do is do another scan. However, I'm gonna try scanning my pink beauty sponge for all 3 readings. So that is the forehead, this is the chin, and this is the neck. Okay, kind of interested. I'm gonna return the wand to the cradle. Let's see what it does. What's it gonna do? Is it gonna come up with a color? Is it gonna give me an error? I have no idea. We're gonna find out. The anticipation is killing me. Oh man, is it gonna work or not? You guys, it definitely read that color. We're gonna see what it does. We're gonna see what it does. Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to get another jar. Thank goodness I bought 4 more of these jars. So here is my completely clean jar. I'm gonna click make my match and it popped open the drawer. Oh my gosh. We're gonna see what this does. Okay. I'm kind of giddy because I thought it was gonna be like, no, we're not mixing that color for you. This is an error, can't do that. But you guys, it is doing it. If it really does work out and it lets me do this, that is crazy because you can really create any color you want to create then with this machine. I'm really on pins and needles. Now the only thing, of course, is you have to consider that this is creating a foundation formula. Now, is this foundation formula going to be adaptable for like a cream blush type of product? I don't know. That's what we're gonna have to figure out in just a moment, but I'm really intrigued. Now, okay, one other thing to consider is that this kind of pink color, you can only kind of get this kind of shade of pink with like a neon-y type dye. Now, we do not have any neon pigments in this machine. I'm gonna be very surprised if we actually get a color anywhere near this color because we don't have the neon pink kind of color in there. So let's see what it creates. Honestly, it's kind of looking a lot similar to a foundation shade, but we're gonna mix. We're gonna mix, mix, mix. Okay. Okay. This one's interesting, you guys. So the color that I have created, are you ready for it? Drum roll, please. The color we got from scanning the beauty sponge looks just like a yellow foundation. Okay, so there are clearly some limits to what this machine will do. We totally saw that it scanned the color and it did a preview color of like a hot pink, but we did not get anywhere close to that. So I do have to say I'm not entirely surprised by that. Like I mentioned, having like this kind of pink color from this machine is probably not possible. Like I said, we don't have that neon-y pink kind of dyes. However, I am extremely surprised how yellow this is. Like this is not pink by any stretch of the imagination. So that is pretty interesting. So I'm not gonna lie, that does kind of bum me out a bit that it did not even get anywhere close to a pink color. I'm not sure how it picked up the yellow at all. There is no like yellow, perceivable yellow tones in this really. So I'm very interested in how it arrived to this color. So that is definitely interesting, but all in the name of science. I definitely wanted to do this to show you guys and kind of like test this and see where the limit is. So unfortunately, I don't think that, at least right now as this machine is, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make custom blushes or anything at the moment. Maybe in the future, maybe something will change, we will see, but I am a little bit let down by that because I was really excited to see if it would produce a pink toned type of product in any way, but I definitely think it totally fell short of that. But to be fair, that is not what this machine was designed to specifically do, so I can't knock it down that much. However, now I'm like, dang, I kind of wasted some foundation. So I might mix this one up again and see if I can create something to make it something that would work for me, because as is, like that is super yellow on me. So I definitely don't think as just a foundation as is this going to work for me, but I can definitely probably do a little bit of color theory on this one to at least make it a little bit more usable for me. So now really quickly, we're gonna go into the clips that I did with my mom and with my boyfriend serving as my models, and you guys can see how the colors worked for them. And your chin. Let's do a little bit here. And then and kind of start blending it. Bubbles being altered. Oops, I got a little bit more on my brush than I needed. Just look forward for a few seconds. Okay. Alright. Okay.
Popo,
ow,
ow, ow, you ripped my pants.
Well, push him down.
Ow, 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 quit.
Make him stop.
Quit, nope, down. Quit it, get down.
Papa!
Can I have this?
Can you have it? can't have it.
Look, you got all this, though. You got all this stuff.
Yeah, and I paid for all of it.
Out, down. Pet him like a dog. I'm gonna pet you like a dog, Popo.
He likes it. Yeah. I'm gonna scan your forehead. I'm supposed to scan your chin, but I'm supposed to avoid any area with facial hair, and then I need to do kind of looks a little dark. I don't know, that one's not a very good color match for you. I don't know. Well, hang on.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, okay, hang on. Blending it in kind of changed my mind a little bit. Let's do a little bit more on like just this. What? Okay, maybe it does look more like your color.
That is pretty wild.
We'll do just like one side of your face. Whoa, okay, that actually really does kind of look like your color. A little bit here. Let me do a little bit on your nose. It's kind of hard to work around your beard. Close your eyes, but don't like squint. Whoa, okay. This kind of does look like your skin tone. Okay, now look at me. Whoa! That really does look like your skin tone. Okay, now look forward. And just stay right there. Now just look straight at the camera. Whoa, that's kind of crazy. Doesn't that look like it would be too dark?
I can tell I have something on.
Well, like, obviously we can tell you have makeup on.
But it does. It does. I just don't have the blemishes and
It looks like your skin tone more evened out, right?
Right.
Okay, just for fun, let me do it all over. We'll get the full effect. Can you look this way?
Do it all over?
Yeah, like your whole face. Okay, just look straight forward at the camera. That's kind of crazy. Okay. Alright guys, so that is it for this experimental update video. Like I said, I definitely do plan on doing more kinds of things because I definitely see how the blushy experiment didn't quite work, but I think that I still have hope for potentially testing this and making it like a bronzer kind of product. Like if you wanted to do some kind of like bronzery kind of foundation around the perimeters of your face, could I make that happen? I feel like that is definitely a little bit more plausible than trying to make the custom blush, but I'm definitely going to have to just test this out and put it to the test even more. So I definitely feel like there could be some more videos coming up in a few weeks of really seeing what we can do with this machine. If you guys have any recommendations or suggestions or experiments you want me to test out, definitely let me know because I really would be interested in really seeing like what can we get out of this machine. For $300, it is very expensive, and although mixing foundation in and of itself is a really, really cool kind of thing, I just feel like we could get even more out of this machine. So definitely let me know if you guys have any thoughts or comments or ideas. Definitely send them my way. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on social media. Links are below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.